Get ready! It's time for another ranking from Revivi Lab Culty, the top 5 anime you need to know.
She was anxiously waiting for this moment. The episode begins with Asuka determined to win the main prize from a gashapon machine, the perfect replica of a futuristic pistol called the plasma shotgun. She spends her first coin, but to her frustration, out comes a pink bunny. She tries a few more times and wins several toys from the machine, but not the much-desired shotgun. Then Asuka recovers and returns to the machine with a renewed aura. This time, she gets the long-dreamed plasma shotgun, shining like a treasure. However, the happiness doesn't last long, as she soon discovers that the toy replica is actually a real shock pistol. Using her new toy shock weapon to play pranks, she scares her dad at home and shocks 2 classmates at school. Trying to use the shock to cheer herself up, she fails and ends up feeling even more depressed. The final scene takes place on a crowded train. A pervert tries to take advantage of the confusion to touch her, but Asuka reacts quickly and uses her plasma shotgun on him, electrocuting the harasser, who ends up visibly embarrassed and literally in shock. Imagine that after defeating the most feared villain of all time, you are betrayed and brutally killed by the same people you swore to protect with your own life. And worst of all, after your consciousness slowly begins to fade. The man recognizes that he had already suspected from the beginning that it could be a trap, but had hoped that things would be different this time. At that moment, a mysterious entity appears before him, mocking his pathetic situation and asking if by any chance he hates them for what they did to him. However, he insists that there is no grudge whatsoever in his heart because he knows that they were not bad people, and that the world is simply like that, cruel and unpredictable. His surprising attitude catches the attention of the entity, who insists that she wants to continue seeing the world through his eyes. So she announces that she will help him by giving him a new opportunity to live. Thus, the man ends up being reborn 1,000 years in the future in the body of a little boy with great magical abilities. But the trick is that now he also has a dangerous mission to fulfill, strictly following the will of the entity. This includes discovering the truth about the chaotic new state of the world and resuming his reign as the greatest and most powerful Dark Lord that ever existed. I'm going to make you want to watch this anime in 1 minute. Everything takes place in a post-apocalyptic world. Bizarre monsters exist out there, ready to devour humans. A boy and a girl live day after day trying to survive the chaos. They travel exploring houses in search of supplies. On the way, a group of robbers corners them both, but the boy solves everything with kicks. Later, they find a well-kept house. It's an inn. There, they meet a friendly woman, the manager of the place. They enjoy the stay with hot springs, electricity, everything good. But in the middle of the conversation, the manager discovers they are monster hunters, and then she completely changes her attitude. She spikes their food with sleeping pills. They fall asleep, but the girl wakes up to the noise of a monster at the window. She pulls the boy, and they both go fight together. But the manager steps in front of the monster and says, "He's my son. He doesn't harm me." At that very moment, she's sliced up like pieces of bacon. In the end, the boy activates a mysterious power and withers the monster from the inside out. They come to the conclusion that the manager was using the guest to feed her own monster son. And the most bizarre part, there's a supposed paradise. But is it really? Save this to watch later, and while you're at it, follow me so you don't miss any summaries. This 6-year-old boy watched the strongest man he ever knew get stabbed in the back. But instead of running, he swore to kill the assassin with his own hands. Thors was a Viking warrior so lethal that the entire army wanted him back. He abandoned everything, fled to a peaceful village, hid his weapons, raised his son Thorfinn to never know violence. But the past found him. Askeladd, a mercenary with 100 men, ambushed Thors' ship and even surrounded. Thors defeated every single one of them with his bare hands, without killing anyone, until Askeladd used the hostages. The warrior who could defeat them all chose to die to save his crew. Thorfinn was 6 years old and saw everything. From that day on, the boy began following his father's killer, not to run away, to become strong enough to kill him in a duel. And Askeladd accepted the boy's presence because he needed a soldier who fought without fear of dying. Thorfinn fought in wars, invasions, and massacres, all to earn the right to a duel with the man who killed his father. And every time he lost that duel, he went back to the battlefield to get stronger. The boy raised to never know violence became a killing machine. And the worst part is that he became exactly the type of person his father died trying not to be. He grew up thinking his father was dead, found out he was alive, and that he'd chosen his career over his son. Gon was raised by his aunt on a small island. No luxury, no technology, no dad. His aunt never talked about it, always dodged, always changed the subject. He grew up believing his parents had died in an accident, painful but understandable, until the day a hunter showed up on the island and recognized the boy's last name. The truth hit like a punch. His father was alive, one of the most legendary hunters in the world, famous, respected, practically a celebrity, and he'd abandoned Gon when he was a baby, on purpose, to follow his career. Any normal kid would have been angry, full of hate, full of resentment. Not Gon. He was fascinated. He thought, if his dad left his family for this job, it must be incredible. It must be worth it. It must be the most exciting thing in the world. And he made a decision. He'd take the hunter exam, the most brutal and deadly test that exists, where most candidates die before finishing, not to confront his father, not to demand answers, just to understand, to see with his own eyes what was so special, and maybe, along the way, find this father and finally ask the question that never left his mind: why wasn't I enough?